Sometimes, if you listen really hard, you can almost hear it.
Our first ever instant star is...
You're it, girl. You're the real thing.
That moment your life changes.
It's about a girl who is just about to fly off and see the world.
Forever.
Jude Harrison!
Hello and welcome to The Breakdown, an Instant Star Rewatch podcast. Today we are recapping Season 3, Episode 4, Helter Skelter. And, as always, I am joined by my wonderful co-host, Sam.
And I'm here with the beautiful Chloe.
And this episode is sad. Yep. Trigger warning, this episode is sad.
Yes.
And I guess you could say it deals with mental health.
Mm-hmm.
It originally aired on the 2nd of March 2007, which, that's so long ago.
Yes.
The synopsis is Patsy's burning out fast and Jude's not sure she can stop her or if Patsy even wants her to. And the episode title is a 1968 song by the Beatles. What did you think of this episode?
Oh, this episode is heavy. I mean, well, I think at least last week, at least 303, 304, and 305 are just heavy episodes.
Yep.
And that's, I think, for anybody, not even just for me, like, going through with what I'm going through in my recovery. I think they're just heavy for anybody, especially if you have faced loss in your own life, if you face any situation like this. You know, it's a good TV show when you can relate to characters.
Yep. Yeah.
So
Yeah, you're right. 304 and 305. And I guess maybe a little bit of 303 are pretty heavy, which is great because it's relatable. But then I feel like there's other episodes this season that are also heavy in different ways. But the ones that aren't this season feel really lackluster because the others are so strong.
yes.
So it's kind of a mixed bag of a season. I think the really strong episodes are some of the best they've ever done.
Mm-hmm.
But the ones that aren't feel really kind of mediocre because the other ones in the season are that good.
I completely agree. And I also think that, especially with the characters that are hit with this heavy load, Jamie, Jude, Tommy, namely those three, even in the like lackluster episodes, there's a air or to them that even though the episode is like, okay, this is a filler episode, there's still something about them that the heavy episodes are still with them.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Like even on Jude's birthday, which I'm sorry, her 18th birthday is my least favorite birthday. I hate her 18th birthday.
Yeah. I can't wait to get to those episodes.
I'm like, after her 16th and 17th birthday, I absolutely hate her 18th birthday.
Yeah. Yeah. It also really annoys me that like it's the only season where her birthday isn't episode 8. Or it's like a 2-part one, so it is, but it isn't.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And I'm just like, knowing everything that happens, is just stupid because it broke the tradition.
Yeah.
But there's also like an heir to, like I said, Tommy, with what he has coming up. And there's an heir to Jude after what she has just gone through. And because of who's missing.
Yeah.
Both of them who's missing that night. That even though the plot line and honestly the episodes are kind of lame and suck, her and Tommy do a really good job at, well, I guess Alex and Tim, not so much Jude and Tommy. Alex and Tim do a really good job of still carrying that emotional heaviness and like responsibility, I guess, that just that heaviness that, okay, something has changed within Jude and Tommy that is affecting them big time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's a big season. There's a lot that is still to come. The season kind of covers a spectrum of pretty much everything.
Yes.
It's a mixed bag in so many different ways. Yeah. But yeah, let's get into the episode. Are you doing the recap?
This one was your recap.
Oh, cool. I will do it. I lose track. Okay, so the episode opens with Jamie hanging out with Jude, which we haven't seen for a while. And he's showing Jude the terrible version of Shooting Star. And Jude honestly lets him know that it sounds nothing like Patsy and he needs to apologize. We learn through that Jamie actually hasn't seen Patsy for a few days, probably since she heard Shooting Star. And right on cue, she turns up and trashes Jude's front yard. Then we go to G Major, and Sadie is studying while working. Relatable.
Yes.
And Jamie is telling Darius that he needs a second chance to record a different song for Patsy because she hates Shooting Star. And Darius agrees, but he only has 24 hours. So Jamie convinces Patsy to record again, but she sets the ground rules for finishing the album. Then we see Jude's dad, who is putting his parenting hat on for a change. He's done it in the last couple of episodes, which is good. And he expresses his concern about Patsy, especially the fact that she's driving under the influence.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go back to G Major, and Patsy, for whatever reason, is falling out with Quest and Jamie, and she freaks out and leaves, taking Jamie's G Major keycard with her. Then we have a gross lunch scene between Quest and Sadie, and she's trying to find out what happened between Quest and Tommy at the kid's birthday party. She wants to know why Tommy punched him, and she's surprised that Quest didn't punch him back. Until this scene, I was like, I forgot that the punch even happened, you know. We're moving on to bigger things here.
Yes.
Patsy heads to Jude's house, says she's finished the album, and they go out for the day and hang out. But Patsy keeps acting out wherever they go. And Jude is concerned that Patsy didn't actually finish the record. They go to a beach, and Patsy says she'll play Jude a new song, which is obviously Darkness Around the Sun, amazing song. And Patsy confides in Jude that she didn't actually leave G Major on good terms. Jamie is clearing up the recording room, and Tommy comes in and gives him some advice, saying it's time for Jamie to try a tough love approach with Patsy. I'm not sure if I agree about that, but we'll talk about it. Patsy and Jude are still at the beach, and Patsy tells Jude all about her brother and how G Major is just not for her. It doesn't suit her. But Jude lets her know that it's important that the rest of the world gets to hear Patsy's music, and Patsy does agree. So she preliminary agrees to make peace and finish the album. And it's going so well until Jamie arrives and basically says, if you don't come out to G Major now, then we're over. And Patsy, being Patsy, chooses war over love. Then we see Portia and Sadie, And Portia's trying to give Sadie some advice about Quest and how much Quest is into her before Tommy interrupts and convinces Sadie to come to a work dinner to translate some Italian. We'll talk about that scene. Meanwhile, Patsy and Jude are now at the chain, and Patsy is burning her record contract. And Jude tries to convince Patsy again that her music is important, but Patsy just flips out at Jude this time and storms off. Meanwhile, Portia lets Quest know that although she's been trying to matchmake him and Sadie, Sadie's head is still in Tommyland. So Quest decides to chivalrously storm Sadie's Italian dinner and kisses her in front of Tommy in a kind of weird way to like claim her or something. Cool. I've lost my place because I just scrolled
The
down.
weird kiss.
Yeah, we'll talk about that kiss. Ugh. Jude and Jamie look for Patsy but can't find her anywhere until they realize she's probably gone to G Major because she has the key card. They have copies of her contract and her album recordings are there. So they find her there and she's completely trashed the place. Jamie tries to win Patsy's trust back, but she doesn't believe it. And she shoves Jamie into like a bar cart thing, which smashes. And she breaks this laptop that's full of her album recordings and storms out. And Jamie tries to go after her, but Jude stops him. And Jamie then wishes he had gone after Patsy. And that's really important for his storyline over the next few episodes. But Jude lets him know that, you know, we're in this together. We'll clean it up together. And that scene is actually really pivotal for how their friendship takes a turn this season. And then the final scene is Patsy and she's driving and she's probably extremely drunk. And the episode ends where she crashes her car into a wall. That's the episode. I mean, where to begin except that I feel like the Quest and Sadie scenes were a way to kind of dissolve the heaviness of the rest of the episode.
Yeah, a very awkward and like just I can't deal with Quest and Sadie. I literally can't.
No, I want him to meet someone else because, like Portia says, he's a great guy.
Yeah,
He is. He's got that kind of golden retriever energy,
yes,
but he's not the guy that Sadie wants. And that's so obvious as the viewer.
yeah,
Anyway, we'll go from the top. So I love the opening scene with Jude and Jamie because they haven't hung out for a while, I don't think.
yeah,
They've been busy like doing their own thing. And they're hanging out, they're in their front yards. It's reminiscent of their kind of season 1 friendship, which feels a world away from this.
yes.
And Jude is brutally honest, like Shooting Star doesn't sound like Patsy. And she's right, Jamie needs to apologize. I feel like we don't actually see him apologize.
No,
But it's a nice scene between them as friends. But right off the bat, Patsy turns up and she's been drinking, she's driving. Yeah, she's Patsy. What I didn't realize is that they were even recording a whole Patsy album until this episode. I literally thought they were recording a couple of songs.
Mm.
But Darius says they're recording a whole album, so there's that. Um, Jude's dad expressing his concern about Patsy. I mean, he's 100% correct. There's
yeah,
no parents that she has to care about her. You know, she's in her what, mid-20s, we reckon.
yeah.
She's a grown up, but she's obviously having issues, and no one really is knowing how to look out for her.
And like when I was watching this episode, especially the beach scene with her and Jude, you know, we don't ever find out. because it's a TV show. I think there was a lot more going on with Patsy than we ever found out.
Oh, I'm sure. That's why this downfall feels a bit too quick for me.
Yeah,
It's suddenly all or nothing. Like she's having a meltdown and it feels too quick.
yeah.
They
Like
would have been better spacing it out since we met her, really.
I think it's definitely more than just alcoholism.
Mm.
And like I think maybe addiction runs in her family
Yeah, she talks
because
about her brother.
yeah, she does say the brother about the her brother not having any teeth now thanks to the age.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering about mom and dad because why aren't mom and dad around? I mean, you figure Patsy's maybe mid to upper 20s, maybe 26, 27, which kind of speaks to, I'm thinking maybe mental health wise. I always thought Patsy was like 24 to 26. Why is a 24 to 26-year-old hanging out with 17-year-olds?
Yeah.
Because we know her ex boyfriend from the chain is older. I mean,
Yeah, he
he's
looks
got
about
the whole
30.
like, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I think at one point we seen with like some like silver in his hair. And I'm not talking like silver you highlight with, I'm talking like gray.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish they would have slowly led up to this from when we met her at the beginning of season 2.
Yeah.
It would have worked better as a slow burn, I think,
Mm-hmm.
because I feel personally like it's come out of nowhere that she's suddenly got all these struggles when, like you said, she's probably always had these struggles, but they didn't touch on it before. She was
Yeah.
just the girl who liked to have a few drinks
Yeah.
and was a little bit kind of crazy, but not in a crazy way, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, Jude's dad is really the only parent around.
Mm-hmm.
And he's right, like it's a concern.
Yeah.
And then obviously Patsy's at G Major and she falls out with Quest and then Jamie and leaves. And I just feel like Jamie should have given her time again. He should have apologized better because we didn't even see an apology. He should have given her time before throwing her back in the studio again.
Which question? Because I want to know if this is just me or if this is like something you may have thought too. When Patsy comes back into the room and Chris says something about like Patsy Stewart back from so
Yeah.
so and so break number 1,000 or whatever. Do you think Patsy was sneaking, like not sneaking off, but going to the bathroom or whatever and drinking
Or getting high, yeah,
or
potentially.
getting high or whatever and coming back more and more out lucid?
Yeah. Yeah, I never would have even thought of that as a kid when I watched it, but yeah, that's a really good observation.
Because by the time she has that fallout with Jamie and Chris, she's not sober.
No. And she
Because
only continues to get more drunk or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good observation. And it makes sense why she would suddenly then flip out. Yeah. But do you think Jamie should have given her more time? Because it just feels like he barely apologized and threw her back into the situation that she finds uncomfortable.
My heart breaks for Jamie. Like,
He's also
I don't
17.
think
Like,
exactly. I don't think Jamie knows what the hell he's doing.
No.
I think Jamie is 17, working a grown ass man's job, and in love with an addict,
Yeah.
or an alcoholic.
Yeah. Well, it's all
And
addiction, isn't it?
yeah, I mean, let's call an apple an apple. One, whether it's drugs, whether it's alcohol, it's still an addiction.
Yeah.
And I've never been somebody to love an addict. I've been an addict who's loved. And now that I'm sober, I can look back and see how hard it was on my family.
Yeah.
And I can remember where my family was when they were at their point of like, okay, we can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
And
There's
I
always a
think,
breaking point.
yeah, I think Jamie's at his breaking point. I think he reached his a lot sooner than like my family did, because I was 35 and my support system were in their 30s.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie is 17. He's not fully developed and fully grown
He
at
doesn't have the
7.
life skills to deal with an addict.
Exactly. Jamie is still a kid living a very grown up life.
Yeah, which is wild when you think about it.
Yeah. I mean, and that's when it kind of almost slaps me in the face that, okay, this is a TV show, because none of these characters are living a normal life, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I'll talk about this in a few points, but like, where are the grown-ups in this?
Yeah.
Why are the kids, the Jude and the Jamies, the ones trying to help Patsy? They don't have the life skills to help someone who is going downhill that fast. Where are the Dariuses,
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're talking like, it's even one of my favorite quotes, but like, even Tommy says something later on in the episode. He's like, you want to see the signs. Well, if you know the signs, why the hell didn't you step in?
Yeah, he's one of the grown-ups too.
Yeah, I mean, he's, what, 23 right now?
Yeah.
24 maybe? Okay,
Yeah.
you're her age. Maybe you're her age. If you don't feel comfortable stepping in, go to this boss of the record company and say, hey,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
have someone who is drinking at the studio, get her ass in rehab.
I think what this shows, and I think we find out next episode and maybe the episode after, it really highlights the money-making machine of the industry.
Yeah.
Because this happens, like, the industry people don't step in when celebrities are struggling, because for some people it's about the money. And I'm talking about Darius, not Tommy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sad. Oh, but then for some lightheartedness, we see Quest and Sadie, if you want to call it lighthearted. And
I just call it cringe fest.
yeah, I just wrote gross. Sadie's like, what happened with Tommy at the party? And I was thinking, I've forgotten about this already. Like, who cares?
Yes.
But she wants to know why Tommy punched Quest. And obviously the viewers know that it was because of Jude, but Sadie thinks it's because of her. And Quest doesn't really give her an answer, but he can tell that she's surprised he didn't hit Tommy back. I'm like, girl, you need to get over your own addiction of Tom Quincy.
Yes. Yes.
And then we go back to Patsy, and Jude and her go out for the day. And I actually love these scenes, this kind of montage of them hanging out. I wish we could have had this prior to the meltdown, because obviously it's the hangout, but Patsy's melting down at the same time. It's
Yes.
but it's a lovely montage, and they do an amazing rendition of There's Us, which is just incredible. So good.
It literally put a whole new spin on There's Us before for me, and I'm honestly wondering now: is There's Us really about Jamie or Tommy, or is it about SME and Patsy and Jamie her friend and Tommy her friend and Sadie her sister?
Yeah, because at the end of season 2, Patsy and her, they don't duet because they're not together, but they do that kind of mashup of them both.
Yeah. Like, I'm honestly, because, okay, literally, like, I have a playlist on my phone called Me and Chloe.
Oh, send it to me.
And it's literally filled of songs that aren't romantic, but I feel like,
They're like our songs.
yeah, are songs.
Yeah. That's what you do. Like, friendships, especially with women, can be soulmate friendships.
Yes.
Like the shit that you and I have been through over the, what, 15 years or
Yes.
15 years that we've been friends.
Yes.
Like, it's, you can have soulmates in friends more than you can have them in like romantic relationships.
Yes. And honestly,
There's Us in this scene was just perfect.
perfect. And that's the thing about that I love, 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 love about music is sometimes lyrics and songs and music, whatever, can say things that like I can't say.
Oh my God, yeah.
But I can hear a song and be like, oh my gosh, yes.
Music is like
That's what I was saying.
music is like therapy. Like I've been to actual therapy a number of times, but I'm not currently in any therapy. But music has always been almost like a free version of therapy for me. It's
Yes.
in my blood. Like
Yeah.
it's so powerful. And that's why I think we both love Instant Star, because at the core of the show is the music.
Yes.
Always.
So yeah, it literally seeing that montage with There's Us, it literally like changed the meaning and how I interpreted There's Us.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, maybe we could ask Stephen about that next, because
Yeah.
we didn't even remember that this was coming up when we spoke to him.
Mm-mm.
Oh, yeah, amazing. And then we go to the beach, which looks like a lovely place. And
Mm-hmm.
Patsy plays Jude, Darkness Around the Sun. Like, what an amazing scene and song. Yeah. My
Be
only
still
complaint,
my heart.
my only complaint about this scene is obviously they're hanging out and Patsy tells her about her brother and family. I wish that we had got this as like an establishing their friendship in season 2.
Yeah.
It feels like, why are you only talking about this now? Like you've been friends for potentially a year at this point.
Yeah.
Otherwise, perfect song, perfect scene. Like
I feel like
I wish we had
uh,
Alex's full version.
yeah, I feel like this scene would have been perfect around like in Mother's Little Helper.
Yeah.
Like when Jude was going through all that with her mom, that would have been perfect. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I wonder if I'm not sure why Zoe Palmer, who plays Patsy, left, whether she had another commitment or whether they just thought the character had run its course. But it makes me wonder if they didn't realize back in season 2 that this was going to be the outcome.
Yeah.
Because obviously you haven't forecast everything for the whole show. But it would have just fit a lot better as they were becoming friends.
Mm-hmm.
But still, the song is perfect.
Yes.
And it shows another side of Patsy. It shows that she can be vulnerable. It's like an acoustic rendition. Yeah, it's great.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have this scene with Jamie and Tommy. I feel like we're gonna disagree on this scene. So I don't agree with Tommy's "it's time for tough love" approach. And this is am someone who has been an addict and loved an addict. I get the whole tough love opinion, but I don't know if it was the correct time to suggest it.
See, I agree with that.
She's so fragile at the moment.
Right. I definitely, and the thing is tough love doesn't work with everybody.
No. And also, 17-year-old giving tough love to Patsy, who's older and wiser.
And meaner.
And Jamie doesn't have the life skills to give tough love to an addict. He just doesn't.
Somebody who could have done tough love with Patsy, Darius.
Yeah. Anyone else, pretty much.
Yeah. Darius.
Dad.
Tommy. Quest. Jamie. Jude. No.
Hold an intervention with everyone, like just sending him off to the beach to give tough love that he's never had to do before. It's not right.
I agree with that. That was literally, that's my biggest complaint of the whole scene, is that the whole, sometimes you gotta do tough love, because sometimes tough love doesn't work. Sometimes tough love can send the person spiraling farther out.
Yeah, because I feel like this whole episode, no one's really tried to understand where Patsy's coming from. They've not really tried to learn what she's struggling with or going through. They've just tried to put their own spin on it.
Mm-hmm.
And she realizes that. She gets that no one understands her. That's why she's running off all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And
what I liked about this scene is that it was Tommy who went to Jamie.
Yeah.
Because of the history, because of what's to come, because literally Tommy is the last person that you would ever think would say, I've always respected how you are with your guard.
Yeah. Yeah, have we ever had a nice scene between Jamie and Tommy until now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think, and what I really liked between it was when it said, Tommy said, I always admired your faith in your barn. But when Tommy says, Jamie says she's in a bad way, and Tommy says, I know, you want to see the signs. As much as I'm like, well, then you should have stepped in.
Yeah.
Be your age.
Yep.
I like that it showed that Tommy is smart enough to be observant, like a lot of us. I'm observant. I don't always act on what I've observed, though.
Same.
I think that's why it's so frustrating, and why I'm like, well, you should have stepped in, because I'm sitting here thinking about how many times I should have stepped in.
Yeah. Yeah, I think when you're sensitive to people, you are very observant, but you don't always present what you observe.
Yeah.
But Tommy, as more of the grown-up, perhaps could have advised Jamie better instead of saying, go and find her now and give her tough love.
Yeah.
Because the beach scene with Patsy and Jude, where Jude is slowly saying to her, it's important the world hears your music. It's just another day at G major. Like, you can do this. It was going well. Until Jamie arrives and says, do you think you're the only person she's brought here and told you all this stuff? Whether or not that's true, it was going well with Jude and Patsy. And Jamie coming and giving that ultimatum just derails the whole thing.
See, I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah,
we'll never know. Like, it could have still been the
yeah,
same.
yeah. I'm thinking as speaking from experience of being the one who says whatever I have to say to get out of a situation and move on to my next usage. I'm going to say whatever the person who's talking to me and trying to get me to do the right thing is going to want to hear.
True. Yes.
I'll spin whatever fairy tale. Let me rephrase. In the past, I did spin whatever fairy tale they wanted to hear.
Yes, I agree. I just think the way Jamie went about it only added fuel to the fire.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The
You
way Jamie went about it was totally wrong.
Patsy saying love or war? Well, obviously I choose war. It's just, yeah. But again,
yeah.
I sympathize with Jamie. He's 17, and so's Jude. They're both the only ones trying to help anything.
Yeah. Like, we agree on the whole Jamie aspect. I think the whole on was Patsy meaning what she was saying or was she spinning a fairy tale was very.
I have a fault where I believe what people tell me to the 8th degree, even if it's a lie.
Yeah. See, I used to, and then I became the person who would say, but and again, in my past, I was the person who would lie and manipulate, and now.
I have this fault where I just believe that people are genuinely telling me the truth, and it bites me in the ass, including TV characters.
It's really sad. It's really sad what addiction does. It literally, like, it changes you. Like, the addict brain and addiction is no freaking joke, and that's why I am so thankful and I praise God every single day that October 21st, I will be 2 years free of narcotics. And I am so thankful.
I'm so proud of you. And in 6 days, I'll be 1 year sober.
Yes. So we have big days coming up.
Yep.
I am actually so proud of you.
I think in the show notes we should put some just links to help if people are struggling, because you never know how people stumble upon random podcast episodes. And
I'm definitely for it.
Yeah, and I feel like this episode is old, they filmed it in 2007. Like we've said with Stephen before, they could touch on difficult topics, but they couldn't ever really drill down like they would now. I mean, when I think about shows like Euphoria, which I haven't seen, but I've heard it's just like pure chaos.
Yeah.
You couldn't have had a show like Euphoria back then. I think Skins was the closest. And it was, I've watched it since and it's pretty mild. For the time, I think what they were showing on Instant Star was as much as they could show.
Yeah.
Even the end where she crashes into the wall, like, I forgot the shock of seeing that. Like, I remember watching the behind the scenes where they did the stunt. I was like, oh, they actually drove into a wall. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, I was watching that and I was like, oh my gosh.
I remember it, but like I didn't remember the detail that it showed.
Yeah.
It showed like in the car, outside the car. I was like, oh, okay, they went there.
Yeah, I was like I remembered watching I'm so bad at Zoe's eyes, and I was like, I remember my eyes going like with hers widening, and the
it's a lot. And then we have Sadie and Quest and Portia and this weird matchmaking that's going on. Sadie is still into Tommy. The way that she looks at him when he invites her to this Italian dinner,
Yeah.
has issues. There's this amazing guy called Quest. Even if I don't find him charming or attractive, he is meant to be perceived as a good guy. He's got a lot going for him. And Sadie
Yes.
just doesn't get it.
No.
And the kiss, like the claiming her kiss thing was just weird.
Awkward and cringe.
And Sadie he kisses her and then walks off, and Sadie walks toward Tommy because I guess they're getting in the same car to leave again. And it's like she's wanting a reaction from Tommy.
And he's just like, what? He's like,
Yeah.
we gonna go?
Yeah, because Tommy is completely over Sadie. We saw that in 302 where he said he doesn't want her anymore.
Yeah.
But Sadie still thinks he does. It's messy.
Yeah. Well, and for some reason, I guess because they are literally making my girl a dumb blonde.
Yeah.
Lord, I'm so sorry that they did this to you. They literally made you the typical dumb blonde, but they are making it where she still has it in her head that the punch was about her.
Yep.
Like she has no idea, and that so she's thinking the tension and the little snide remarks and that's all about her. She has no idea that it has nothing to do with her and everything about her little sister.
Yep. And everything that Portia says about Quest, like he never misses a birthday, etc. So true. He's nice. And if Sadie was older, probably, and she'd kind of calm down the wanting a bad guy, he'd probably be the perfect guy for her. But he's not at the moment.
Right.
And that only develops as season 3 continues.
Yes.
But then we go back to Patsy, and she's setting light to her record contract. And Jude stupidly says, "You know they have copies, right?" I was like, just let her do her thing, seriously.
Just let her symbolically burn the record contract.
And for all the quote unquote help that Jude has given Patsy up to this point, this is when she wrecks it and they fall out and Patsy leaves. And it's sad because it's pretty much their last interaction. But again, Jude's 17. She doesn't know how to deal with this stuff.
Yeah.
And Jude and Jamie look for Patsy at G Major, and she's trashed the whole place. This is one of the saddest scenes, like when she sat at Darius's desk. And one of my favorite quotes is here where she says to Jamie, "Your eyes have been empty for weeks." Like, she knows that Jamie's locked into this kind of business headspace.
Mm-hmm.
And he tries to win her trust back, but it's gone. Like, she doesn't believe it. And as she storms out, she shoves Jamie into like a bar cart that shatters, and that's sad too because yeah, it's the peak of her meltdown is this end scene.
Yeah.
Not really much else to say, but except, what mental health things is she struggling with that haven't been addressed?
Mm-hmm.
Again, like, where are the grown-ups?
Yeah. Because I'm sorry, even if Patsy is like 25, like even if she is, because we don't know her age, it's never said, but even if she is in her mid-20s, you still need grown-ups and parents
Role models.
at 25.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially if you're struggling the way Patsy is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's watching it in my 30s, it hit me a lot differently. I don't think I realized the gravity of what she's going through when I watched it
Yeah.
back in the day.
Yeah.
But amazing acting from Zoe. She was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously we have the end scene, the important scene with Jamie and Jude, where Jamie wishes he'd gone after her, and that becomes so important. And Jude says, we'll get through this together, we'll figure it out. That this is kind of the beginning of the end of their friendship this season.
You know what? I literally just saw this. That carries on into season 4.
Yeah.
That that exact, not that exact, not those exact words, but almost close enough, uh, is echoed in an episode in season 4, and
Yeah.
I'll message you about which episode I'm talking about
I think I
later.
remember, but yeah, message me. Yeah, it's this becomes a huge arc for their friendship or lack of friendship.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then obviously the end scene with Patsy driving into the wall. I mean, what an ending. Imagine having to wait a week for the next episode.
That was brutal. And I remember, for those of us that was watching Degrassi at this time, this was the time we lost JT too.
Oh,
Like, we
okay.
lost Patsy and we lost JT, who had been a core member of the next generation. Like,
I love all
he
these
was one of
Degrassi
the.
facts that you give me.
You're like, I don't care, but
I don't know.
go ahead. But yeah, he was one of the original members of, like, the next generation class.
Oh, cool. Maybe they were just on something, the writers.
Apparently, because that was a lot. Yeah, that was a lot. Because the same doctor that announced, that told Jude and Jamie, told, like, Emma and Sean and
No
Manny,
way.
and yeah,
So it was a weird,
yeah,
like, crossover.
yeah, I guess.
That's so weird. Like, were
No,
they at
it
the
wasn't
hospital
like,
at the same time?
no, it wasn't like a crossover event. I guess, like, they had to use the same, because it was all in Toronto and they used the same sets and stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because, like, Jude's birthday was actually filmed in the Degrassi gym. They just
Oh,
decked it out.
I did know that. Yeah, I did know that.
Yeah.
Oh, but that was the episode.
Oh, way too many behind the scenes stuff. This is what happens when you're 17 and antisocial and sick.
Yeah. Yeah. But that was 304. I mean, that was a lot.
Whew.
What was your episode theme?
Um, I had 2 and I couldn't decide. I had missed signs and taking action too late.
Okay. I had trust or lack of trust
Yeah.
because I feel like no one was really trusting Patsy's, not her meltdown, but like where she was coming from.
Yeah.
They were all trying to kind of band-aid the situation in their own way instead of like taking a moment to put themselves in her shoes. And she obviously
Mm-hmm.
ended up trusting no one by the end of the episode, which is awful.
Yeah.
Okay. Song review. We obviously had 2. We had the There's Us remix and Darkness Around the Sun. How many instant stars did you give both of them?
So the There's Us, I gave 8 because, like I
I gave
said,
it
it
9.
literally. Okay, good. Now, Patsy's Darkness Around the Sun. This was really hard because I think I say this every season. I think I say, "Oh, this is my favorite Instant Star song." I'm gonna have to go back and probably listen to all my Instant Star songs, but there was a time when I literally listened to Darkness Around the Sun for hours on end
Same.
every day because I literally felt like it was me.
Even my mum ended up loving this song, and she was not a huge fan of any of the Instant Star songs except Darkness Around the Sun and Skin.
Like, I felt like Darkness Around the Sun was literally like somebody had crawled inside my soul, read my soul, and wrote it.
Yeah.
So that might be my favorite Instant Star song.
I mean, I gave it 10,
Yeah, I gave it 10.
and we don't
Now,
give
what?
10s easily.
No. Now, if I like Patsy's or Alex's version better, normally I lean towards Alex just because I've seen Alex live and Alex is Alex. But I've gone back and I've listened to Zoe, and Zoe's a really good singer too.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we actually technically hear 3 versions of the song. So we hear Patsy's version, or Zoe's, which I think was sung by Lindsay Robin.
Yeah.
But then we have Alex's version, which is in the next episode. And then on the soundtrack, we have, I think it's Daphne Doyle's version.
Yeah.
So we get 3 versions. I love the one we hear in this episode. It's 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
I mean, my favorite lyric is "Live your life where you are now," because as someone who is coming up a year sober, the one thing that has helped me out of everything else is staying 100% present every day, exactly
Yes.
in the current moment.
Yep.
And that just spoke to me hearing it at this point in my life. It's one of the
Mm-hmm.
best songs of this season.
Oh yeah.
100%. Ah, great song. The songs in this season that are good are like world class.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a shame we didn't get to hear full versions of Alex's ones.
I know.
So sad. Did you have any what the
Thanks.
fuck moments?
I seriously put the Sadie and Quest B plot. And then I put why is Portia involving herself in that? Why is she flirting with Quest?
Portia,
And
yeah, I
then
feel like she was kind of flirting with Quest a little bit.
I'm like, Portia just needs to check herself half the time.
At one point, she was like,
Most of the
you
time.
deserve someone better. I'm like, do you mean you?
Yeah.
It was weird.
I'm like, she's telling him to that Sadie still wants Tommy, but I'm like, yeah, you're coming off like you want what Sadie has.
Yeah, yeah, it was weird.
And we know her history, so let's not go there.
Yep,
And then I said, why do Quest lines sound so corny?
they do. I
I'm
only had
just like,
one, which isn't really a what the fuck. Well, it kind of is. Why didn't G Major provide better mental health for Patsy? You're a record company. It's kind of your
yeah,
fault.
yeah.
Okay, favorite quotes. I had 3.
I had 2, but they're long ones.
You go.
I the first one is, well, I mean, it's a scene, but it's the Tommy and Jamie scene. You shouldn't, Tommy, you shouldn't have let her leave. Jamie, yeah, well, she's bigger than me and meaner.
And Mina, yeah.
And meaner. Um, Tommy, I always admire your faith in your garner. Then Jamie says she's in a bad way. Tommy says, yeah, you learn to read the signs. Jamie, I've tried everything. I do anything. Tommy then says, even being meaner than her. Tough love, Andrews. If it. Come on. if you really want to save her and you can figure out where she went. And then my other one was, I think it was Jude's last, might
Oh,
have been Jude's last
she really is
line.
a shooting star, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's her last line and it's how the episode ends.
Yeah, so Jude, we can take care of Patsy together. She really is a shooting star. Unpredictable but beautiful.
Yeah, loved it. And so true. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I had 3. Jude says Patsy Stewart doesn't need saving, she needs a friend to her dad, which is true.
Mm-hmm.
Patsy, when she says to Jamie, your eyes don't, they've been empty for weeks, like that broke my heart.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And then Jude's, she really is a shooting star, unpredictable but beautiful. I think that should be the episode title.
Yes.
How many instant stars out of 10 do you give the episode?
I gave it 9.5.
Yeah, I gave it 9. To me, it still feels too fast, the downfall, but it was so
Yeah.
well done. Yeah, I love it. Amazing.
Yes.
Fun fact about Patsy and the clothes that she wears. So I was actually messaging with Ian Blackwood, who plays, oh my god, I've forgotten his character's name.
Hold on.
My god, Kyle.
Hold on. Hold on. This is why I have my neat little phone. This is why I do everything on my phone except for apparently mark it right.
literal brain fart just happened in my brain.
Okay, he played Kyle.
Yes. So I had a message from Ian Blackwood, who played Kyle, 1/3 of SME, and he said that, I didn't know this, I don't know how we would have ever known this, but he said that his sister, let's bring the message up. So his sister Jen actually designed a bunch of the clothes that Patsy wears in Instant Star. So that's pretty cool because she wears some awesome clothes. So his sister Jen is a musician, obviously a designer and a tattoo artist. And in season 2, Kyle apparently wears a t-shirt which says The Creep Show on it a lot. So that was actually his sister's real band at the time. So yeah, fun little fact, she designed Patsy's clothes.
For Jen, I am definitely a fan.
Yeah, I
Because
loved her clothes.
style was my favorite.
Can you send me some?
Yes, please. Can you
Have
send
any
me stuff?
offcuts that, from all those years ago? Oh, but that was our episode recap of season 3, episode 4. The mini will be out in a few days, and next week it's going to be a big one. We're going to be deep diving episode 305. I think it's called Let It Be. It's a heavy one coming up. Thank you as always, for listening, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to The Breakdown, an Instant Star Rewatch podcast. The Breakdown was produced by me, Chloe, and Neon Network Production. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and listen to all episodes of The Breakdown on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. See you next time.